Right. So here we've got our four things really that you can think about before you even get out the gate. Let's continue. So if there's anything you want to say as you're going through this, just tell me and I'll pause. Yeah.
Wow.
Alright, go to
That was
point.
disappointing.
So you say go to point,
Man. Yeah.
but you don't say,
Which one?
like you see, yeah, like people went that way and then that way. So it ends up they're already on point by this time. So realistically, you need to be able to tell them where, but also how to get there, how to path. So sometimes this isn't necessarily your job, Spud. This isn't necessarily the shot caller's job here, because if you think about it, you might not have the scouting information to call this straight away, right? So what you should be doing is either calling it like we go coast straight to point, or another way to do it is to pawn it to Zed and say follow our main tank, or say Zed calls where we're going, or Zed if you hear that Spud hasn't done this part, if he's just said where you're playing, you can turn around and be like, so Spud will say like, oh, we play on point for a start, and then if he says nothing else, then you can presume he's forgotten, so you can just say we go right side straight to point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can help bolster this, so it's not so much of a strain on Spud to try and do everything at once.
Yep.
They're going coast.
They're going red.
Okay.
Okay, show no.
Watch out. Dum no fun.
Push.
So there's no call on the wall, but you end up pushing anyway, right? I don't think there was any reason. Well, you got your wall off, so it's fine for pushing there. The one thing, see if you split the enemy team like this, right? And you're here. What do you think? Which side do you think you should go to? But it doesn't even matter, because it doesn't matter which way you go, because you should be going as a team, right? But no one calls when the wall comes out which side you're attacking. So if you do split them like this, you need to be calling like go right side of wall or something, instead of just engage, because it doesn't tell you engage where. Like, you could engage off the map if you want. So I think this fight goes in your... So this fight here, I'm going to let this play out because I want you to pay attention to how long it takes you to clean stuff up. Because this is before I've told you something very important later on. So see if you can remember what you do wrong here.
Healing up on point. Down one. Reaper no ray. Sigma.
Reaper next.
Healing up on point. Reaper right side.
There's already enough information there. What do you think's the major issue with this?
We stayed in there way too long. Clubbed them all.
I mean, that fight was winnable. You killed their Sigma. You traded a Sigma for an Orisa. That's probably winnable. But what didn't you do?
Push. You didn't push through the shields.
Yeah. So you just sat in front of the shield. Like, you sat in this area here, which meant that, like, you just did nothing, really. So, you know, this comp, with your May Reaper, you want to be pushing past your shields, pushing past the enemy shields, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right side.
Do Doom behind.
I think you get a pick on the Doom and then a pick on the Sigma, and then you still lose.
Thanks on the way.
It's lost.
Come back.
What's next?
These walls were really bad. From
Reaper, Moira. I think that's it.
Raspberry
Okay,
was playing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Raspberry was-
try and build the.
Splitting them like that is very
We'll-
eh,
we'll call it.
unless you can get it like up against the wall. Unless you can get it like so that's the back wall a point, and you can get the wall like this. Everyone else, what are you doing for that plan?
Got my coalescence up.
Something I didn't see enough last night. Zed, what can you do when you've got coalescence up?
I can port for it.
Yeah, you can halt for it. So you can be saving your halt, because it's actually surprising. There's two combos, real big combos with Moira and Orisa. What do you think they are? So one, you've already said, the pull plus coal.
Pull damage orb.
Yeah. So pull and damage gives you, like, this actually gives you so much alt charge if you do it consistently. Because the other thing is, right, this pull is multifunctional. It is multi-talented, because you can do pull plus damage orb, but you could also do at the very same amount of time, if you put them up in the air, you can do pull plus rock, can't you?
Yeah.
Because, goddamn, that's his Bork. But you can see, like, you're pulling them up into the air anyway, so damage orb goes like this, and then the rock goes like that to try and hit them out. So you can call, like, I'm pulling here, and then people should be thinking, okay, I'm going to save my damage orb for that, or I'm going to save. So that, in that situation, pull is the cooldown that you want to be calling. But see, if you're doing coalescence pull, coalescence is the thing that you call, because coalescence is the major factor in that combo, whereas pull is the major factor leading into two more. Because you don't want to say, like, oh, I'll call when I've got rock, I'll call when I've got damage orb. It's like, no, I'll call when I've got pull, and then you can do these other two off of that, the back of that.
Right. Well, I've got coalescence now.
Oh, we lost the main.
Oh, okay, back.
So you just didn't, like, you hung around here, you said what you were doing, and May went forward and died, because she wasn't sure when you were going in or not. So, like, think about, like, if you're going to turn a corner like that, it's very, very good to just be like, okay, we're turning the corner in 2, 1, now. And then it's the opposite. So the opposite thing there, like, you know how I was saying previously that you always want to give yourself a grace second before you go around, or before you call out a combo? Yeah. Well, this is probably the opposite for a main tank, where you want to be going around the corner slightly early, so you can make sure your shield's down in place for the rest of your team to follow in with you. Otherwise, they might turn the corner too quick, and then they don't have anything to protect them.
Yep.
I need something from everyone. Zed, like, oh, you're saving your pull for it. Like, I'll pull when you more alt, things like that. That's what we need to be thinking of, and we need to be calling it now.
Should we go high ground?
Right. I can speed in with that.
Come high.
So a couple of things here. You end up doing the right option, going the high ground. But why do you think, out of all these options, high ground's a good option against this team? Why would you choose to go high ground over lower here?
We got really good line of sight with the wall. It's not like you don't have to look through a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, wall line of sight / scouting, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Because you get that information, so you know when to drop. Anything else?
We are way to go past that choke.
Yeah, so they can't really contest that choke properly, because they have, like, a Lucy or whatever, and either they can boop you down from here, like down onto the low ground, but you're going to be wanting to do that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And if they charge into you, then they're playing into your hand, really. The other advantage here is more positioning from the enemy team, right? So if they're at this choke and they've stuffed it with these two shields, right, you're not really going to get kills through here unless you push through them. Whereas if you drop from the high ground, you're going to force them to shield back here, aren't you?
Yeah.
which means you're in a much better position to push into them, because once they're in this situation, you can play around here or play around here as cover. You've got cover options pretty much when you do drop.
Okay.
High gun, okay. I'm gonna drop and try and get the Doom pick.
There's a
early.
Doom up here.
Alright.
There's Lucy up. Lucy up.
Oh, wait, we can drop and pull.
You're learn spell, okay. Can
We
we go?
can drop and pull. Signal
Okay,
up.
yeah, no worries, no worries.
Okay, ready, ready, ready.
One,
Okay,
go.
go.
So you get pulled down. It doesn't really matter. This wall's really bad. I think it shouldn't be positioned like that. It should just be flat on. A really good thing to do, a lot of maze don't know this, is you can actually wall over the bongo, and it'll cut off all line of sight to the bongo. The other thing I don't see here is Spud using your shield to shield behind theirs.
Yeah, quite a lot of the time I do it to like engage and behind. Remember to do that.
Yeah.
Pull them together, pull them together.
Doom is up. Doom is upside.
I'm on bongo, I'm on bongo.
Like this is a very, very good shield. Well done.
Doom got me. Doom behind. Doom behind. Doom behind. Doom behind.
Do.
But so it was a very good shield. Very, very good shield. But the reason it didn't work was because you ended up using your shift and you didn't get back afterwards. So the idea is that you would go in, if you need to, you would place your shield aggressively, right? Place shield. Second is, if you want to push forward, then you fortify and go forward. And then what do you think happens when fortify runs out?
Nah, you go back.
Yeah, you should try and go back / find cover. So you don't want to be playing just hard Wing into them, because if you do that, then they're just going to use that opportunity to kill you, which is exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
Lost.
Wait, did we just go?
We
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Okay.
It was unlucky we ended up losing Cole there. But that's the other thing, right? We got better at that later on with Shackler, because we call a couple of times later on, we call to coalescence, and then Shackler, you realize that, well, if I do that, I'm gonna get doom punched or I'm gonna get pulled and killed. Like they've got ults to kill me as soon as I ult. So it's good that we started doing that and started recognizing, started going back through the ult tracking and actually using the information.
Any ultis?
They didn't use anything though, so they have still Reaper, Moira, probably Doom, Orisa.
Okay.
Reaper, Moira, Doom. Well, they did. They used Bongo. So the only thing here is that they haven't used... People seem to have real trouble with ult tracking beat.
Yeah.
But realistically, what I tend to go by, right? This is fight 2, pretty much. You've just finished fight 2 and you're about to move on to fight 3, right? Then if they've won those fights quickly, fight 3, Lucio will be about 85%. If they've won the fight slowly, he'll probably have beat, or beat will be coming up in the third, like the late part of the third fight or the fourth fight. That's how to track it, pretty much.
Okay.
And the other thing is, you've got an easy way out here. You can just look at your Lucio, because Lucios generally tend to get it at the same time. In fact, in this situation, Amelia has got ult before the enemy, so you should even think that they might have ult at this point, because compare them, it's 91% versus 86%. So that falls right into my line of thinking of plus or minus 5% for Lucio ult.
Okay.
The other one we miss is Sigma alt, but same thing again. It's been around 3 fights. He's either going to be 85% or has his alt.
Yeah, save your cooldowns for pole slam.
Okay, come high ground. We'll use Blizzard as we go in, okay?
Someone's playing over there. Right now
I'll
I'm
push
shooting.
forward with the
If
mate.
they're-
I'll try and rock the Doom, okay?
Okay, so we say the plan is that we're going to go in, we're going to use May alt, and then I'm going to rock the Doom when he gets in. So I think that it's an alright plan. I don't think there's enough setup to actually finish this fight. You know that they're probably going to be playing. You don't really take into account what alts they have. So you know that they've got Reaper alt, and you know that they've got Doom, Moira. You don't know about these two, but realistically, in looking back, we will say that we know about them. So what would you actually be doing this time if you saw this, bud? Or what do you think? So Amelia would probably say like, okay, I'll beat for Doom or Reaper, right?
Yeah.
So this is actually like, I don't really like it, but I guess this is one of the times you could probably be into a fight because it's going to force the Doom or the Reaper not to ult until you get on top of the enemy team. But I wouldn't really recommend thinking about that. This is probably one of the few times where I would say that you could do it. What I would say here is definitely use the Mei and definitely use the Bongo to finish this fight. Bongo just comes up so quickly that you could probably finish it with that. So call Bongo Mei, and then what do you think everyone can be doing? So what do you think you can be doing to set that up? Well, more along the lines of what can you do to make sure that the fight happens and you're not dead for it. So watching your cooldowns.
Yeah, having shift up.
Yeah, so making sure that you've got shift for the Reaper ult or the Doom ult.
Mm.
It's super important. 2, I'd say for Rex, he should be looking. He should also have his TP up so that he could TP probably straight from high ground behind them here or something. I think that's about the range of it, so that he can get in behind. The other thing we need to be calling out is where like we should know like generally they'll be playing in this area if you've forced up, correct? So when you're looking at this, the where comes down to May, really. She can call out. Or who else can call out the location? Who else can affect their positioning?
Zed.
Yeah, so Orisa can call. Orisa's a really good call here to make. I'm going to pull and then we're going to May ult. So when you hear that in the future that we're going to use May ult, Zed, I want you to be thinking like, okay, well, can I use a Bongo here? Can I be using my pull to help him out?
Okay.
For Spud, I think you know the Reaper ult's coming up. You want to save your shift. You know that Doom ult's coming up. You want to make sure your barrier doesn't die. So as long as you've got a little bit of barrier left, you can shield all of Doom's ult. Dude, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't played an incredible amount recently, but I think it's probably better to put your shield down and just leave it and let people dance around it when Doom ults.
Okay.
Rather than trying to, unless it's like in a weird place and you can probably get to shield it or something, but
What I tend to do is as soon as I hit the, I normally have my shield out, and then as soon as I hit the Doom multi, I recall it. And I try to position it where it's going to protect most of the team because they'll often like do it on top of the support, so I'll throw it to them, and they can choose like the sides that won't get hit by it quite quickly.
Yeah, that's probably fair enough. And then the other ult is the other ult that's coming up that you know about is Moira, so you could look for pull rock on her, or just straight up rocking her, so you can be looking maybe at a wider angle, so that you can look for that rock if she uses it.
Yeah.
Possibly. Who else on our team? May, that's the where really, and then Lucio, making sure that we have our speed to get. I would say for this situation, I think it would be better to speed it in from high ground, because why do you think that would be better than speeding once you've frozen them? Because, well, let me phrase it another way. What are they going to do when you drop?
Probably move back.
Yeah, so the best thing to do here is probably shoot the pool, the halt, right in the middle of them here, and then just lob immediately speed from high ground down. And then by the time the pool is there and by the time the mail has started, you're probably going to be right on top of them anyway. And do you know the other advantage here for speeding in from the high ground? So it gives you the advantage of, it gives you an advantage because the Reaper and their Doomfist are on flanks, right?
Oh wait, yeah, we can just avoid that quite easily.
Yeah, so you're kind of staying as a team more, and you're avoiding those flanks. Flankers. Is there anything else you guys can think of?
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be like you kind of covered that already, but wouldn't it be better to save the speed? Because let's say we're engaging with beat, to stop the Reaper from like ulting in. Shouldn't we then save the speed to get out of the Reaper ulting?
Yeah, that's possible as well. But I would say like you've got beat, like you don't need multiple things to stop Reaper ult, right? So I'd say beat. I'd say beat for Reaper ult.
Yeah.
Alt, and then beat for Reaper ult, and then speed to engage. I think that's the plan here. Because speed, this one here, so look at it this way. Is speed gonna 100% prevent you from dying to Reaper ult?
No.
Is beat gonna 100% if you get it correct? Is it gonna stop it?
Yeah.
Stop it, yeah. So save your beat for the Reaper ult because it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed to save people, and then use your speed to engage because that will help the plan more than using your beat to engage. That's what it is. That's why you wouldn't beat to engage there anyway.
Okay.
They might come up with Sigma and... Ready? Drop.
So we say ready, and then we just, I don't know what we're doing.
Okay, push. Reaper behind us.
Reaper behind, right side.
Push in.
Again, like this here is just way too slow. Way too slow. It needs to be so much quicker on this engagement. This shield shouldn't be here either, Zed. It should be where you had that original one, right? Because the thing is, see if they've got their shield here, right? And you put your shield at the other side of it, they can't actually push through your shield without putting themselves at a disadvantage. Because if you think about it like cover, this is their cover here, so they're going to be reluctant to actually push past this. If there's a shield right in front of their cover, they're going to be even more reluctant to push past it.
Yeah.
Because it stops the healing coming through the choke.
Left side.
So look, we managed to beat the Reaper ult. That's very good. But by the time we use this, there's like one person in it, and I think he escapes because we just don't set up for it correctly.
behind.
Oh, you get Sigma. I think you do turn this around actually.
Help check.
Where's your point? Where's your point?
Yeah,
I
I
can
think
go
I
left.
do.
You can go left.
On the Reaper. On the Reaper.
Do me slow. Do me slow.
But I think we pretty much use everything to win the fight.
Yeah, I think target priority was a bit meh here. Rix could have been much more vocal on this Reaper ult so that we knew, because obviously we can save our pull and everything for it, even though you're dead just now, but that's what we can do. You did the correct thing there, Zed, by going in, but I don't think everyone else was prepared for you to be pushed up that much. But just know you did the right thing there, pushing.
Sigma main.
Okay,
They will have Sigma, Reaper, Moira, Lucio.
Wait.
Sigma, Reaper, Moira, Lucio.
Okay, then
But they just
Sigma,
use
Reaper.
beats, so you're kind of right. You just missed the bongo. But you called bongo last fight, but missed this fight for some reason.
We push in after they've used the cooldowns. I'll save my shift for the.
They're going Reaper right side.
I'm trying to pull the wishes separately.
They're going main, I think.
Try and pull left. Try and pull left.
Main.
Pull left door, pulling left door.
I've got no rock. I've got no rock.
Okay,
Keep
shoot him
spamming.
5.
Bubble. Okay.
So that was a fine combo.
2, 1.
Watch out for Doom.
They have a job in them.
Get the Doom.
That was a very good wall.
Reaper behind.
Reaper on the Reaper.
The one part of the plan there that didn't really happen was that we never called May wall them when they come in. It's such an easy call, right? You know your win condition is you sit on point, you defend it with your life, and you use your May walls to get the, and once you've got the May wall up, you force into them, right?
Yep.
So just making the call, play on point, play it back. May look for walls when they get in.
Healing open point. I can go left. Use go left. Push.
Reaper.
Lucio 1. On the Reaper now. Wish.
Nicely
Pull
done.
them.
On the opposite.
Lucio
It's fine.
Come back to point.
It's okay.
I can't remember who wins or loses.
Okay.
Right, quickly this time I want you to look at how you're actually think what.
I think we lose this one.
All right.
Oh, I might.
So Dan's very valid comment here is that Reaper versus against Reaper Doom, just punish the Doom. When you're playing like the May comp versus the Doom comp, like the walls aren't really going to affect him, but what else can you do to Doom? The same things you can do to Winston, right? You can pull, rock, stun, like boop. Like you have so much stuff to just mess his day up. Same thing if there was a ball or a Winston knocked into you. You're gonna win this next fight in terms of positioning, where you're positioning.
They will have Moira, probably, or Zilligan, Doomfist.
Okay, they're gonna pull them. Okay, we save beat as they come in, so we get the extra sustain.
You say we save beat for when they come in, right? But it's not really. Is using beat when they come in going to give you any advantage?
No.
No. So really, you want to use beat to answer an enemy ult.
It's the Reaper.
Yeah. So in this situation, Reaper or save for the mid fight where you just want to, if it's like a really long fight and you know that there's no ults coming up, you can use it midway through a fight to just confirm a fight. But beat is so valuable that this is really like, I don't know, you would hardly ever use this. Even 20% is probably too high. You just really want to use it to answer an ult. Just go with that general rule of thumb. And then the other one is to engage, but like I said earlier, it's really not, because there's things people can do to get away from beat. It doesn't really stop it doesn't really stop them from doing anything apart from your team taking damage, so you're much better off to save it for an answer. But you do want to use it. I think what happens here is you don't get the beat off or something. I think Reaper comes in, and because Amelia isn't prepared, she doesn't have the chance to Q quick enough.
Okay,
The other thing for me that I don't see enough Maze doing, say if they wall like this, right? Is there much point in taking it down?
Wait, what do you mean? If you get walled, like
If they put a wall here, right, and it doesn't really do anything, is there much point in taking it down straight away?
no.
Well, you get your cooldown back, but a wall like that might have stopped that Doomfist from getting out, but they broke it and then he jumped out. So I generally leave my walls
I got no shift. Reaper.
until I can see if they're fine.
Okay, bonk. Okay, go and shoot. Go and shoot. Pull and shoot, man. Pull and shoot.
So again, we should know that there's a Doomfist, right, and this shouldn't happen. I think we call that Reaper is TPing and we just don't react to it in time. Obviously, Spud, you need to be thinking about eating the Reaper ult or beating for the Reaper ult. Like you can still, I would say for something like Reaper ult where he's in your team, I'd say that using your shift to eat it all is probably worthwhile on top of beat.
Refolding guys.
Because the thing is, it just makes you more survivable. And they should have won that. You should have won that. Right. Alright, so that last fight, what I was really looking
I don't really
want to
watch
second because I think they play Bastion, don't they? Oh no, this is a different team. This is a different team.
Yeah.
Do you want to go through this map, or would you like to look at one of the payload maps from later on?
Probably payload map.
So let's have a look at Kings Row then. You grab my phone, hold on.
I have the main
Right.
herself, but it's probably too risky by herself. But we can just hold the normal position, and then once.
Why is it risky for me there? Answer me that.
Because she'd be alone without.
Okay, if she doesn't get the wall, then what's she gonna do? Has she got survivability? Probably. Like, they're gonna have to speed into her. Oh yeah, this is. Are they gonna do that? I was explaining to you here why May can be on her own for the start of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Give them space to push in.
Alright, let's go.
Just call it out if you just standard dive. I'm gonna fall back to this.
So you're in condition here. You're playing for your wall. You're saving your pull to see if you can pull them through.
Ryan.
Ryan,
Give them space. Give them space.
Ryan, what's your?
I think he sees you, or maybe doesn't.
Yeah,
They spawn.
So we call that. I think they see me, but we don't actually react to it. Like, this rotation should have been happening straight away to make sure that we could probably get into a better position for when they get towards us.
Right, move back a bit. Move back. Wanna play back?
Don't shoot bubbles, don't shoot bubbles.
So in this situation, really, Maywall like this is key to winning this fight. The other thing I don't hear enough is these getting called out. More the bubbles coming out.
Hmm.
Okay, shoot dead.
Ban bubble, ban shield, ban shield.
Okay, got shoot 3.
Give it
I got Ryan.
It's a huge wall, but look how long it takes us to actually do something with it.
Way too long. May behind.
Yeah, and then I don't know what happens, but because of that, Zed, you end up being in a bad position when the wall comes down. Rix is in a bad position trying to get back to the team. Spud, you're just too far back, and I don't know why the May's sitting here behind shield. You should be in the front line.
Why shoot bro? Pull in Zoe here, pull in Zoe. Oh,
I've got rope.
I'm gonna call us. Use call us. Use call us.
I think you die here, Zed, don't you? Yeah. You just end up being a bit too aggressive there. I'd say where you were is maybe like 5% too far up. Like I would have maybe seen you here instead, and Spud should have been with you much quicker. Spud and Rick should have been with you. Because you really shouldn't die when there's a mortar all up.
She's in the cafe.
The walls always seem to be 90 degrees to where I would put them.
Okay, rocking. Rock, Reaper's gonna
I'm
be
walls. I'm walls. Healing up on you.
Reaper.
I've got shield.
Reaper dead.
Come back. Nice.
This strike is
I'm not back yet.
Right on fire strike.
I got bluster. What else are we gonna use?
getting out. He's getting out.
Okay, we Sigma and we Blossom after. Okay?
They might also have blossom.
Okay, I'll use pull. I'm using pull.
So Sigma Alt Blossom, right? I'd say start doing Sigma Alt with May follow up. Because you can win a fight. I'd say you can win a fight with either this or this, but this is, I'd say your Reaper is probably a lot more advantageous in the neutral fight, because it just does, it actually confirms the kills instead of just freezing, and because there's ways for people to get out of it. Like May's got her wall that you could wall off the, if she walls in front of their team, then you can't really follow up on the May ult. Question for everyone: when do you think you should be Reaper ulting in terms of like start, middle, end of a fight?
Middle. Well, depends how quickly they use their cooldowns. I'd say after their cooldowns are gone, you then go in with the Reaper.
Yeah, so after cooldowns, so probably like a good way to think about this is probably like maybe after 5 to 6 seconds, most people will have used a cooldown, use a survivability cooldown. And then again, Zed, what can you be doing for this?
Pulling.
Pull combo. The same Sig you can be looking to rock. You can look to pull rock into it, so you can look to stun someone whilst they're in it. So pull people up, rock them, drop into a Reaper ult. But really, try tonight to start thinking about using Sigma ulti into Reaper ult, because that damage will probably finish it. And the good thing is, the really good thing is with Sigma ult, it forces out cooldowns from the enemy team, right? But it doesn't force out Maywall because she's in the air, like they can't protect her. And then when May gets slammed down into the ground, she's got her Maywall to put up in front of her. And then if you try and follow that with a May ult, then there's going to be a wall between you and them, isn't there?
Yeah.
So that's just another thing, just thinking about. We only got 10 minutes. So.
Okay, I'll save my shift. I'll save my shift for Blossom. Okay. Keeping out first.
Okay, I'm gonna back up a bit. Back up a bit.
Yeah,
Careful, they have Ryan.
Okay, can we?
I'm looking. Pulling.
May no wall.
Okay, Ryan.
Ryan's gonna shut up. Be careful.
Wind low.
Follow up.
So you end up doing it, right? You end up doing the Death Blossom, but because it's not called, Rix doesn't have any like follow up for it, or doesn't have any protection from it. So I think tonight one of the really good things for you to be doing here, Spud, is to make sure the shield, try and think about where you're putting your shield when Reaper's ulting. Because if you put your shield here, like, well, it would be about here, right? You would have actually blocked that for him. Not saying it would have won the fight, but it would have done a lot to it.
Yeah, definitely something at least.
I don't know why people do May ults like this when, why put it here when you can put it like here? You generally want to put it like, I tend to try and put it like 10 meters back from where I think, back towards the spawn, the enemy spawn, because that's probably about how far they'll run. Because if you put it here, there's a chance that they're the edge of it's like here and they're gonna get out of it. If you put it here, the edge is here and they're gonna run from here to here maximum.
Yeah.
Okay, now push
Push right, run.
No more.
Reaper behind. Reaper no way.
Oh, and then raspberry throws here.
Back.
He's gone.
I don't know why. We'll leave it there though. It's probably good enough for it quickly.
My Overwatch has been fucking no Overwatch license.